Okay. Okay. Hi, everybody.
Cut. Try again.
Riders in the Storm. I'm Steve, and this is Patty. Welcome to, again, Riders in the Storm, Season 1. This is Episode 14. We're going to talk about the Promise, an emergency room. We've had a little bit of a challenge with our Montana fifth wheel. It's a 3720 rear living RL, and we've got a little bit of problems with the hydraulics, which I'm showing you some pictures of right now. I thought that we have a special kind of hitch on the front of our rig. It's called an Anderson hitch, and I thought that because it would kind of fasten on, it wouldn't let go. So I actually picked up a little bit of the back of the rig with it, trying to get it to loosen up. Usually we have to drive around again and back up, and it'll loosen up. Don't know what that is. If you know and you're better with the Anderson hitch and that whole apparatus, put some answers for it down in the description. We'd love to know what's best. But it does get stuck once in a while. And because of that, one time thereafter, we pulled into a park and we're dropping and we're trying to get level, and all of a sudden we notice all this hydraulic fluid leaking out of the side of the front, up on the leg on the front. And that's what this bucket is. It's right here. We started trying to catch it, trying to figure out what the heck is going on. We're now at a place where I put his business card up with this guy named Ken is working where we are. We're actually in Bridgeport, which is Bay Landing, and we're at 1,000 Trails. And this guy Ken here is working.
A mobile technician.
Yeah, mobile technician, and he is here working on the rig, or has been working on the rig. What he found is that, and we're gonna do a whole thing on our Montana fifth wheel, but the hydraulic line, one of them, you'll see in the picture that's right here, a bunch of them run up like this, but if you look real close, you can see a silver one there, I guess up here. You can see a silver line. That's the coating that's come off of that line. And the lead acid batteries that are sitting right there that I have for my house batteries have jiggled and moved around or whatever to the point where it's rubbed the hull, and it's actually leaking. So Ken's working on that. We had to get a special order or whatever. So we're just trying to say it's been real easy, according to him and me, or as we looked at it, if those lines that you see up here, if they'd have put some tie wraps on it, kind of moved it up out of the way, because obviously this is where somebody's going to put their house batteries. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Promise, but now Patty's going to talk about what we promised we'd always do: go to a barbecue restaurant and to a breakfast restaurant.
Right. So Saturday we went to Costco in Fort Worth and decided to stop for breakfast, and we found a cafe that had good reviews. It was called Beacon Cafe. It was a gem. It was really good. The interior is sort of a combination of movies and Harleys.
Yeah, some cars, Mustang, Ford, Chevy, the different manufacturers.
But it's just a charming little place, and the food's good. And on Saturday, yeah, it's very good. On Saturdays and Sundays, apparently they have a chef's buffet. So almost everything that's on the menu, you can also get in the buffet, and as well as, pretty much all you can eat it. And it's a very good restaurant. So highly recommend that one. Then we went after we got back.
Well, wait. First of all, I'm putting a picture up here. This is what we ordered. It's called Dirty Eggs.
Dirty eggs.
Yeah, it was really good, guys. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Patty.
So then we went to a barbecue place in Bridgeport. It was called Raymond's Barbecue, and it was okay. It was not what you would expect for a Texas barbecue. The thing that I like about barbecue is those burnt ends, and this was not. It was just basically chopped meat.
This guy must have not put it out. A good barbecue, they'll put it out for several hours in a smoker, and then it gets that little glazed charcoal, whatever tip on the outside of it.
Crusty edges.
Right. This place looks like they just put it in an oven and steamed it in some water. Same with the pork. I got pork too. Wasn't cooked, smoked, and anything. It's almost like the guy was gonna, I said, I'm really looking for barbecue, and he, points to the barbecue sauce. So that's how you get barbecue with the sauce.
Yeah, the meat itself is what was lacking. They had wonderful rolls, And
Which I felt like they bought somewhere and brought in, but hey,
no, I saw him take them out of the oven.
did they actually take them out of the oven?
And I saw her put butter on the top of them, so they, yeah.
Stop.
Yeah, it was good. That part was good. Anyways, it was called Raymond's Barbecue, and it was, I'd probably give it a 3 stars. It wasn't horrible. It was clean. The interior was nice.
Yeah, I got some pictures of the decor and the
decor
outside.
and everything. It's nice in that regard, but it's not what I would consider a typical, really good barbecue with that caramelized burnt ends. So, you want to go
Okay.
with Promise?
Yeah, so this we got a couple of storyboards coming up here. We really encourage you to go read the screenplay itself so you can really get a feel for what's going on, which I'm going to try to describe in this particular storyboard is a standoff. So PJ, one of our main characters, probably the main character in our story, Perry Lewis Jones, Dr. Jones, he is very, I want to say streetwise, very clever, very intelligent, and he's on his floor working, and cops bring in a bad guy, and they take him into the emergency room, but the bad guy gets a little angry and upset, gets a pair of scissors, stabs one of the officers and one of the security guards there, Big Mike, and this picture here is about a standoff. And so Perry Jones, Dr. Jones, the way he handles the patient, the way he handles the officer and the bad guy of course is the patient, but the way he handles him, the way he talks to him and helps him basically drop his guard, so to speak, so they can grab him and help apprehend him is actually pretty clever. That's what we like about PJ, his character. He's basically telling him he's going to die. There's nothing he can do. The guy's saying, well, we're in an emergency room together, and you got to work on both of us. And he's like, I'm short-staffed. I don't have the ability to do anything. And the bad guy says, I don't care. I'm going to kill this cop. And he says, fine, you can kill the cop, but you're still going to die because he's going to rattle off shots at you. You're going to rattle off at him, but I'm getting him into surgery. I'm right here. I'm going to take care of the cop. It's just the way it is. It's what the whole world would expect me to do. And the bad guy's freaking out a little bit, and then Nurse Betty comes in.
Cut.
Riders in the Storm, take 12. This is on Life is on the Line. And then Betty comes in. She don't like blood on her floors. So if you really like that, or kind of sounds interesting to you, you got to go out on Amazon, read The Promise, the whole screenplay. As I've said in earlier vlogs, it is written in storyboard format. So it's like
Screenplay format.
exactly. Cut. Yes, it's written in. It's actually in PDF, but it's written in Final Draft, and so it's written in that format that they like. Fade in, fade out. If you're not familiar with that, send us email, and we'll do a whole vlog on how to read the stories. Usually, if you start picking it up, start reading it, you'll immediately get what's going on. And it's really a stories for your mind. That's what we used to call them, stories for your mind. When we first put them out on Facebook. You got what does PJ look like to you? What does Nurse Betty look like to you? What does Jessica look like to you in The Promise? And that's what we like about screenplays. One other thing before I go, I'll talk real briefly about the other 2 storyboards as I put them up. That's really important is one of the reasons why some of them have the screenplays that we have written have not sold yet is you don't know who's going to get them. If you start to read The Promise, some of the paranormal things, because it's a paranormal screenplay, you might think I'm reading a horror, because it may sound scary to you. Yeah, Betty's right. It's not anything like a horror. But if you put it in the wrong director, producer, staff, people's hands, they may feel like it's a horror. I actually had somebody who read it, said the scene that I just described to you about the cops in the emergency room, is this a comedy? So I think that every good screenplay or movie or show that I've ever watched has a little bit of comedy in it. I think a really good screenplay, story / whatever you want to call it, is really good if it has a little bit that scares you. It's got to be like a roller coaster ride. And so one of the reasons why we haven't really sold it or work with anybody to make it yet is we've got to find the right director or producer, if we're going to do it ourselves, that sees a cinematographer that sees the story the same way we do. And so really haven't found that. We're certainly open to somebody calling us and saying, look, we're going to take it over and we're just going to buy it and we're going to make it into whatever, and then just maybe some of our input or a little bit of a rewrite. Does that cover everything, Patty?
I think so.
Okay. All right, so we're going to say goodbye right now. Remember to like and subscribe and tell your friends. Yeah, tell that friend. No, don't tell that friend. Don't tell that neighbor, but you
The
know.
friends that you know.
Yeah, that guy.
Those guys.
Tell those guys. Okay, see you in the next
See ya.
one.
Bye.
Bye.